Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again. Welcome back to Big Mike Talks, where today I'm going to be talking about the rest of the week that was in pro wrestling. So that's going to be WWE SmackDown and what I could get done of AEW Rampage. My phone actually ran out of power while I was watching it, so that's going to be more of results slash what I could, get on here. So, let's stick with that. We're going to start with WWE SmackDown. We start off with a Nia Jax promo, because why not? So, she starts off that there's only one thing on my mind, and that's winning the Women's Crown Jewel title. And I usually get everything I want out of WWE. I won the Queen of the Ring. I won the women's title. And anything and everything that gets in my way gets annihilated. And I'm taking home the title. And just as she's about to continue, out comes Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and Dominic Mysterio. With Liv saying, Nia, you can keep bragging like you're special, but you're not. I retired Becky and became one of the greatest champions of all time. And I've held the title longer than you have. Nia won it at Crown Jewel last year, Liv at SummerSlam. And I know what it takes to beat you because I've beaten you before. And you can stop dreaming now because I'm the next champion. Out comes Tiffany Stratton, Miss Money in the Bank. Jesus. Come on. There we go. And she tells both of them they can argue all you want because at Crown Jewel it's going to be Tiffy time. Now I'm going to become either the new World Heavyweight Champion, but I could also become the new Women's Champion. And I could then Liv retort. Nia then turns to Liv. They kind of get in a little argument. With Liv retorting, you see, Nia, that's the difference between you and me. I have people I can trust on my side. Tiffany retorts, well, I didn't quite make up my mind yet. Both of you are starting to piss me off. And there's one thing that'll speed up my decision. Liv, does Dom come with winning the title? Because I could use a little dirty in my life. Oh, brother. Then Liv retorts, you already have enough dirty in your life. So that leads to Stratton pretty much slapping the taste out of Liv Morgan's mouth. And this leads to our first matchup of the evening, as it's Liv Morgan taking on Tiffany Stratton. Not a title match, though. So, this match was pretty basic. Nothing super to write home about, although Tiffany did counter an Oblivion attempt, which was awesome. At one point, I believe it was Dom that got Tiffany's Money in the Bank case. Goes for a shot that whiffs, but that leads to a Liv Morgan roll-up to pick up the win. Post-match, Nia Jax gets up on the apron. Liv Morgan just drop kicks her in the stomach. Then Raquel Rodriguez comes in and just whips Tiffany Case all around to everybody. Eventually, Nia fights back, hits her own case shots, and hits an Annihilator. So, yeah, that match is going to be interesting, to say the least, for Crown Jewel. But, yeah, we'll go on from that. We then get a little recap of the Randy Orton-Kevin Owens match being made for last week. We then get an on the phone in some car somewhere Kevin Owens promo talking to Randy saying, "I've been trying to call you all week. You need to hear me out. I didn't want to fight you at Crown Jewel, and you don't understand why you're making me do this. I never wanted to hurt you, but at Crown Jewel, I will. You did this to us. I'll see you Saturday." Definitely an interesting build for this matchup. We'll get to that at my Crown Jewel review. Our next matchup is the Street Profits versus Pretty Deadly. And before the match gets started, as Pretty Deadly are making their entrance, there was I don't remember the guy's name, but I think he was a playwright for some play in New York City. And Pretty Deadly gave him a CD mixtape for their musical, which I guess they're still doing. And even before the match starts, Pretty Deadly jumped the Street Profits. Bell rings, and yeah, this was certainly a better match than the women's. It felt like it was given way more time. But eventually, Street Profits win with the blockbuster, which I think they need a true finisher name for that move. Because just a blockbuster isn't, I don't know, it's not the most exciting name I've heard. Next, we see Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton in the back, with Tiffany revealing, no. What I was doing out there, it was part of my plan. Then Naomi and Bayley walk in. They have a little stare down with Bayley kind of making fun of the whole situation. Then we see Nia and Naomi stare down with Naomi saying, "I hope you keep that warm for me." So we're getting Naomi and Nia Jax in the near future. So that should be interesting. Next up, we got more tag team action players as Naomi and Bayley take on Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. And what's interesting is this was actually pre-taped in Brooklyn the week before because they were traveling. So the Thursday before this show, India Hartwell has actually granted her release. So she's technically not part of the roster anymore. Either way, this was a fun little sprint of a match. Wasn't much of anything, although Candice did get some good shots in. But end of the day, Naomi comes in, Bayley hits a Bayley to Bayley. Naomi with a big senton and a moonsault into the rear view to pick up the win for her team. So, yeah, that was definitely interesting. We are going to see what happens with that little feud going forward. We then get a recap of the goings-on with the Bloodline for the week, with Solo and his gang costing Jey Uso the Intercontinental title on Wednesday. Jey invading SmackDown to help his brother and cousin, which is going to lead to something, as we have our next segment. We have Roman Reigns coming out with Jimmy Uso. They get in the ring. Jimmy Uso gets on the mic. He says, "Can I keep it 100 with y'all? My tribal chief has been iced, and you say we are stronger together, but we're not gelling one bit. And you need to listen. You need to drop this beef with Jay. I made up with him on Raw. I squashed the beef with Jay. You need to squash it. You need to make up with my brother and your cousin. And if we don't get right, we'll fall to Solo's bloodline." So this brings out Jey Uso with his kind of annoying entrance, I'm going to be honest. So Jey Uso makes his way to the ring, picks up a microphone, and says, "Let me get this one thing clear. This match, it's a one and done. It only took to get back at so I can get back at Solo. He's messing with the family, but we aren't all the way fixed yet. I'm talking with all of me standing here. I didn't forget what you did to me, mentally, physically, and emotionally. And yet I still showed up here because that's what family does. And for the ones before and after this, I'm going to show them it's going to be family above all. However, this round, I'm not your lackey no more. I'm your equal. All three of us are equals, and we'll run this like we used to. And you're either going to speak or treat me with disrespect. I'm out. And you can't do it. And if you can't do that, you can walk too. Act like my cousin now and not my tribal chief, and I'm in. We going to do the damn thing or not?" So Roman picks up the mic, kind of looks around, and says the one word I never thought I'd hear come out of Roman Reigns' mouth. Yeet! And then post that, Jimmy steps forward, puts up the one. Jay does the same thing. Roman drops his microphone, gets right in the middle of them. All three are acknowledging each other. And honestly, I am surprised this wasn't the main event segment. But that was definitely a cool moment. Like, seeing these three united again brings back the good memories. But will they be on the same page for Crown Jewel? Time will tell. Well, next up we cut to the Motor City Machine Guns in the back, and it's still crazy they're the WWE Tag Champions. Like, that is still insane to me. So they're talking about how this was the goal when they first got started. And before they can even continue, in comes A-Town Down Under. Because of course it is. With Theory kind of taking the lead, saying, "I know everything you've done. You've now put the title on pedestals." Then Waller interrupts, and he says, "It's time to put the titles where they need to be, on the biggest talk show in WWE, the Grayson Waller Effect." And Shelley says, "Okay, we'll see you next week." Really? That's what you do with the Guns when they first win the title? Put them on a talk show? Like, give me a legitimate feud for these titles. And give me someone else besides A-Town Down Under. Like, give me Legado del Fantasma. Give me the Good Brothers. Give me someone. Anyway, that's it for next week. We then get this little fatal four-way match, which involves the participants in the four-way tag match. It's Io Sky representing Damage Control, Bianca Belair representing her and Jade Cargill, Piper Niven representing her and Chelsea Green, and Lash Legend representing her and the Metaphor, which is Jakara Jackson. I can't believe I remembered that name. So, this was pretty much Hoss fight, and then Io Sky would come in, do her extreme stuff, which is insane. One point, Lash Legend and Piper Niven did team up on Bianca for a little bit, which was pretty entertaining. Including hitting a doomsday device on her, which that was pretty interesting. At one point, Lash Legends hits the Whiplash, only gets a 2, but only because Chelsea Green pulls her off of Bianca Belair. Then, on the outside, all the partners start to fight. Then Piper Niven takes over with a big old senton. Big slam senton. Lash Legend with the Michinoku driver, which that was entertaining. Hell. Then, with everyone down, except Lash Legend, in comes Jade Cargill. They have a stare down. Yes, please, give me that match. Then the other people on the outside grab Lash, pull her out of the ring. Then Bianca Belair takes Lash Legend, gets her up on her shoulders, hits a KOD, goes for the pin. Then Io Sky grabs her, throws her out of the ring, hits an over the moonsault to pick up the win. So, Damage Control probably not winning the tag titles for Crown Jewel, but definitely a solid four-way match. Let's see some more of the stuff like this. Next up, we got Cody Rhodes. He's in the back. He's in his locker room getting ready for the main event. Then in walks Randy Orton, who when he walks in, looks at the title hanging right up there. He says, "You good to go?" Cody then replies, "When you're done, done with Kevin Owens, leave some for me." Randy then says, "That's gonna be a no-go, buddy. Because there's not gonna be much left." Cody then replies, "That's a shame. I'm not sure what I'll do." Randy then goes to leave, keeps looking at the title, and he says, "I'm sure you'll think of something." Dang. Yeah, that Randy Orton heel turn is going to be interesting for sure. And I'm definitely coming around on the Randy Orton Cody Rhodes feud. Although I don't know if I do it at WrestleMania. I feel like that's Rock Cody all over it. Anyway, then we get a video promo from the participants in the U.S. title three-way. So that's Andrade, LA Knight, and Carmelo Hayes. With Andrade starting, "Knight, Hayes, I cannot wait. I have this opportunity to be done with you and become the new champion." Hayes then not cuts in, but has his own little promo where he says, "I'm going to become the new champ. I'm going to take my revenge. Andrade, you need to catch up with me." And Knight, same thing. Then it finishes up with, of course, our U.S. champion LA Knight. Yeah. Where he says those two got what was coming in that Game 7. But now I got two people to pin. And still United States champion LA Knight. Yeah. Definitely an interesting way to do this kind of promo. I don't know if I need to see it again, though. But that's on me. We then cut to the Bloodline Clubhouse, with Solo Sikoa taking the lead, saying, I've been sitting here talking about this match with you, Roman, for a while now. They believe I'm the bad guy, but I replaced the family, and every time Roman needed help, I was there. But Roman left me high and dry. I'm the tribal chief, and after Crown Jewel, you will love and acknowledge me. They're building up Solo into something, and it's great to see, because he needed, I'm not going to say a reboot, but he needed something else to up his game a little bit. And it definitely seems like he has. So, yeah, we'll see what happens for Crown Jewel as we move into our SmackDown main event, as it's Imperium. So that's Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser taking on the reformed Legacy stable. If you don't remember that was Cody Rhodes before he left AEW, Randy Orton, who was the leader, who was punting dudes in the head, and Ted DiBiase, who is scamming people out of money. Well, that's Ted DiBiase Jr., but, you know, fuck that entire bloodline. Anyway, this match started off interesting. It started off Gunther and Cody. They kind of circle each other in the ring. Then when Gunther gets back to his corner, tags in Kaiser, gets beaten up a little bit, but eventually fights back. Tags in Gunther, hits pretty much everything on Cody Rhodes, who then gets the hot tag into Randall Keith Orton, who runs wild on both members of Imperium. He had Gunther ready for the draping DDT, but Kaiser interrupted it. Eventually, Randy Orton does hit it. Gunther blocking the RKO. That was impressive. Kaiser and Cody get tagged in. Cody Rhodes with the bionic elbow, an homage to his father. Cody Cutter goes for the crossroads, but Kaiser just collapses. Gunther goes to get involved, but he gets hit by the RKO from Randy Orton. Cody Rhodes with the crossroads to pick up the win for his team. Post-match, while Cody and Randy are celebrating, Kevin Owens gets in the ring. He has a chair and just attacks Randy Orton from behind. Gunther then gets back in the ring and locks in the sleeper hold on Cody Rhodes. And, security comes out, breaks both up. That was... I'm going to say this. That was a pretty entertaining finish for the match. And, definitely built some interest in both feuds. And I was surprised Kevin Owens was there, because apparently he wasn't meant to be there. I guess he was suspended or something? I don't know. Either way, it was a very entertaining SmackDown, especially for a free tape episode. There were some downs, like, I don't know, that awkwardness of Indy Hartwell essentially wrestling her last match in WWE as part of a pre-tape. That was a little sad. But, ultimately, entertaining episode. And interesting build to Crown Jewel, which I'll get to that tomorrow. Don't you guys worry. But first, we cover AEW Rampage, which honestly was a really entertaining show. We start off with Legado del Fantasma, Los LFI. I'm going to call them that. I really don't know how to pronounce their name. So that's Rush, Dralistico, and the Beast Mortis taking on this very random yet beefy team, as it's Beef. Yes, there's a guy in wrestling called Beef. The Butcher of the Butcher and the Blade tag team, and JD Drake of the Workhorsemen. Like I said, bit of a random assortment of characters, but they all kind of fit. And this was a fun, chaotic 6-man tag. Looked like LFI was going to go over at first. Big guys fight back, especially with Beef. Beef is so underrated. One point near the end of the match, Butcher hits a big old suplex. Beef was going for the Kentucky Meat Shower, and yes, that's the name of his finish. But he gets pushed off the top by Dralistico. Beast Mortis with a chop block. Into a lung blower, into a cannonball. Tags in Rush, who hits the bullhorns for the win for his team. That was a dang good 6-man tag. And I hope against hope they have something AEW has something significant for LFI to do. Because this is a good dang group. We then cut to this very weird Stokely Hathaway interview, who is trying to take credit for Private Party winning the tag titles. Which, a little weird. Then the interviewer brings up something about, I forget who it really was, that mentioned something about Stokely's allegiance. So he kind of backtracks, gets a little defensive, whatever. So, we'll see what happens with Mr. Hathaway going forward. We then get a interesting low squash match between Taya Valkyrie and enhancement talent Zoe Lynn. This was definitely the Taya Valkyrie show, although Lynn did get some stuff in, but eventually Taya with the Michinoku driver into the curb stomp to pick up the win. We then go backstage, eventually, essentially in one shot, like Raw does, right into a Taya and Deonna Purrazzo interview. Then before either one could get a word out, Stokely Hathaway walks in, pretty much says, "Your opponent out there told everyone all you do is talk. It's time to go out there and send a message. Prove a point." So Taya goes back out to the arena, beats up her opponent from the evening, hits another curb stomp on the ramp, goes for another one. Purrazzo puts her hand on her shoulder and stops her. We then get a nice video promo from Thunder Rosa and Harley Cameron hyping up their match for Collision, which I did watch Collision, but I didn't cover it. I do apologize for that. But if you want to check out that match, go. It's a Day of the Dead match, which is essentially plunder match, which, that's fine every once in a while. We then go to our next matchup of the evening, as it's Queen Aminata taking on Layla Gray of Top Flight. This match, definitely a little longer than it needed to be, but each woman got their stuff in. But eventually, Queen Aminata wins with the stretch muffler via submission. definitely something to keep your eye on. Hopefully they got something interesting for Queen Aminata to do. And Fine Alamo. No, not Fine Alamo. Now we go to our more results portion of the show. Because, again, my phone died at that point. As we have Top Flight and Action Andretti taking on the Dark Order, with Action Andretti winning via the moonsault. And then post-match, everyone's up. They shake each other's hand because they're Team AEW against the Blackpool Combat Club. Action Andretti, you can tell, is a little taken aback by this whole thing. So, yeah, another entertaining six-man. We'll see where that story goes. And Fine Alamo, our main event, as it's Lio Rush taking on Commander. It has definitely been a while since I've seen Commander wrestle, and brother is as good as ever. Like, this was pretty much 3D chess slash the flippy stuff when we see Ricochet versus Will Ospreay back in the day. With Commander picking up the win after AC Litolino. I don't know how to say that. Post-match, you can see Lio Rush is frustrated, along with the rest of Top Flight. But Commander helps Lio Rush up. They have a nice post-match handshake. I do think they need to push Commander a little more. He is an entertaining, energetic dude that honestly brings everyone to their feet. And to have him beat someone as, well, let's face it, decorated as Lio Rush, that's a little unexpected. I liked it. So, if you're going to watch one match from this week, I can't guarantee more, recommend more this matchup. So, yeah, that is it for me for today. Tomorrow, I will cover Crown Jewel, and all its ickiness. Yeah, that's a little bit of a preview of what's to come. Overall, entertaining week of wrestling. Going to continue through this week, including an hour-long first hour episode of Raw commercial free, which I do not like. Anyway, hopefully you join me for both of those. Till next time, happy wrestling, everybody. Peace.